So just as human morality finds its source and explanation in God's absolute goodness, so human rationality finds its source and explanation in God's absolute intelligence. Despite the pretensions of atheists to have a reason on their side, the leading atheistic worldview, naturalism, faces great difficulties in accounting for our rational faculties. Not saying that atheists can't be smart, they can't be rational, that they can't find A plus B equals B plus A. It's the very fact that it's accounting for it.
Yeah, so again, and this is the same distinction that we talked about earlier, right? We're not saying that atheists can't know anything, right? That would be an epistemological claim. What we're saying is, how do they account for that,
right,
for knowing, right, the capacity of the know and that sort of thing, right?
Just in the same way that your great-great-grandmother, who's never been in school a day in her life, doesn't know about the laws of logic or the law of non-contradiction, law of identity, can still reason.
Yeah. And so the question is, where does it come from? What's the source of rationality? Right.
So the central problem can simply be said: naturalism is committed to the idea that reason came from non-reason.
Oh, so that's where it came from.
Right.
That's the source of it. What's the source for naturalism? What's the source of reason? Non-reason.
Right. So there was this little dot, and it had all the matter in the universe. They exploded one day, and reason was just in there somewhere.
And then eventually it came out.
Hidden behind Jupiter, flung off.
That's right.
And
we're fortunate that something, when it was squiggling out, didn't smash it and kill it.
Whew, good. I'm glad it infected us with reason. So the physical universe as such doesn't have a mind. It doesn't have an intellect or any rational faculties. At the beginning of time, the universe was just a highly compressed lump of matter, and lumps of matter have no thoughts at all. Never mind rational thoughts.
Right.
Put your pet rock in the middle of the floor. For some odd reason, it doesn't do, rational calculations of what it's like to be a turtle. It's just a rock. And the lumps of matter have no thoughts at all, never mind rational thoughts. So the naturalist has to believe that rational beings arose out of entirely non-rational materials and processes.
So again, here's the rock, the lump of rock from their perspective. And out of that lump of rock, we'll call it Earth, okay, rationality somehow rose, right? And now here we are.
It evolved upwards. There's branching factors.
Yeah.
There could have been the law of contradiction, but it didn't win out. It unfortunately, it just didn't survive. It only had 2 feet instead of 4. It still had gills, and eventually the law of non-contradiction won the day.
That's right. Won out. It evolved and survived. Right. It was the fittest law.
You should thank your ancestors for it.
So the most common explanation offered by naturalists is, as we have just described, an evolutionary one. Right. We humans gradually developed the ability to reason over millions of years by processes of natural selection and so forth and so on. So our reasons then give us a clear survival advantage, right? That's what the argument is. The reason that we reason is because it allows us to survive, right? We've evolved this way so that we have a survival value, and so reason then gives us a survival